As many of you know, in 2019, the architecture community encountered the devastating loss of two architectural giants in Philip Freelon and Steve Schuster. Acknowledging that we were incredibly fortunate to have Phil and Steve call the Triangle area home, our task force began deep and thoughtful discussions around what we might do locally to honor and extend their legacies as talented designers of buildings that positively contribute to and transform communities. It is my honor to present to you today the outcome of those discussions. Let's take a look at how the AIA Triangle Design Awards will celebrate community impact through design beginning in 2022.
As an architect, obviously, spaces for people, urban spaces, is where I've spent most of my career.
He always started by listening. He asked questions. For any community that he worked with, he wanted to understand what defined them, what was important to them.
I believe that he's always had sort of a deeper message to the community and to his clients regarding the built environment and the work that he would provide for them.
His listening skills as well. I learned a great deal about how to listen to people and understand people.
Steve was really the one that inspired me, made me believe that architecture could be more than about itself. It could be something at its best, part of something larger.
There was just a broad care and commitment to the state of North Carolina, even to small towns.
They weren't really his projects. They really belonged to the broader community that he worked with.
Whatever the project was elevated to a point because he got people with different points of view.
He's always given time for himself within the community to have a role and play an impact in the work that he's produced.
I think Steve just genuinely had a love for this area and just wanted to make the environment better.
One of the things I wanted to accomplish is to make sure that the work we did had an impact. Are we achieving success by making people's lives better?
He's always loved people and servicing people and communities. So the passion for architecture, he saw that as a tool, a means to an end, to that higher goal, mostly to communities that largely didn't have the benefit of great design.
Architecture became the tool that Phil used for social activism.
He really wanted to make an impact in communities that were overlooked and underserved.
Community is made up of people, not just a collection of buildings. Phil listened a lot, and then taking everything in and sort of channeling that and funneling that into what the architecture and the environments that were ultimately created.
So he had a standard of excellence that he felt like everybody deserved.
Everything from a small project to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, these projects have impacted the community across the board, locally and nationally.
Phil's approach really began with seeing architecture as embodying the story of the community. We were honored that they would entrust their story to us, and that we would tell their story through architecture and champion their values through architecture.
He always said, I won't do prisons. I won't do anything that will degrade any community. And so most of his work began to focus on culture of a community, culture of a society, of a group of people.
And as we've witnessed, he was right. It really has had a tremendous impact on local communities, national, and now global. The global community of humanity.
I think anytime we can reward people for being responsive and creating sincere and authentic projects for the communities in which they're supposed to serve, then that's a good thing.
We need to be focused on what these beautiful places that we create do for communities and how they engage the communities through Phil's legacy and continuing what I do now. I really see how you create places and spaces that are meaningful and purposeful to people.
An award such as this, representing them and their accomplishments and contributions, I think holds us accountable to how we can look at the work that we're producing today and what level and contribution that that's having.
I think it's important because future generations need to understand what these two icons brought to not only the Triangle, but to the state of North Carolina and in many cases, the nation as well.
The careers were not about winning awards. Their careers were about making the community better than it was.